call. Yes. It's the 3rd of Monday of December. Oh, it was cold this morning. I think it was freezing cold. I did see some snow on a car when I was walking over here. And it looks like I'm going to be evicted on the 7th of this month. Yes. Because I can't get rental assistance because you refuse to remove your fraud. Now I know. Your thought was law enforcement doesn't have to enforce the civil rights of American citizens. You don't have to require the signature of the petitioner. You don't have to have any due process. And when I explained the fraud of saying I received actual notice when I didn't receive actual notice, there are no exceptions to the rules of law. Pooh. Now, this civil procedure where you give notice of court hearings at least 5 judicial days prior to having the court hearing, and then you have proof of service, you thought that for 7.5 years you could continue issuing court orders. Now, in 2011, I didn't get notice or opportunity to be heard, and then there was the 3 variations of the no contact order that you had issued. But you refused to acknowledge the actual laws of the United States because you're the judiciary. You wanted me to motion the court. Yes. And then you were going to make me jump through all these hoops so that I could have visitation with my sons. Oh. You were going to make me have mental health evaluations. Oh. Then you were going to have me have to have some sort of mental health services for the rest of my life. Yes. As if I didn't understand exactly what due process is. Now, there's service of process. I did have a LLC and an S corporation. Yes. But you did not want to believe that I was not a domestic abuser or a child abuser. Your whole thought was, well, we'll just say he's crazy. We'll keep saying that. I was watching a show last night after I wanted to shower so that if a doctor was actually touching my body, it wouldn't be dirty. Yes, I'd be clean for the doctor's appointment. And there was this show called Species. Yes. And could you get me every word that has an S in the front of it and an S on the back of it, as in SS? Ooh, what did we not see? That ancient breed of persons that comes the money. Pooch! Now, I know you're a different species, isn't that right, caveman, deputy fish? Pooch! And for some reason, your species thinks that you're in control of the United States. Now, if we stop saying you're a breed or you're an ancient race of beings, yes, and we started calling you the species, there was this little girl, yes, she was made from the genetics of something outside of the world, yes. Could you get me all the radio telescopes this morning? I just wanted to know because I was watching that show. Yes. What is it that they broadcast into outer space so that extraterrestrials would want to make contact with us? Seemed like they had a big one there in South America. Could you get me those radio telescopes? I'd just like to know, what kind of message do you send to outer space? Because when I looked at the amount of money that we're spending attempting to contact some extraterrestrial beings when we got some species right here in Garland County. Now, your thought was you were going to come the money, is that right? My thought was you're a different species for not understanding the actual laws of the United States. See, when the requirements of the law say that the respondent, yes, you can't just say an individual's crazy, okay? The respondent has to have notice and opportunity to be heard. Yes. And then you say, well, he's crazy. We don't have to protect his right to a speedy trial. We don't have to admit any evidence. Your species would say that me, as a citizen of the United States, doesn't understand the requirements of the law. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not somebody that can tell you what you're fucking